4 months ago, we moved into this studio for our Lego city. It took us about a month to build all the tables, all the structure, all of the stuff, and realised just how big the space that we had available to us was going to be. But it's now been 3 months since we started moving some Lego in. And as you can see, it is slowly but surely starting to look like a Lego city. It's a long way from finished, but people have been asking for this one, so I figured it was time to give our first full tour of the new Lego city, show you everything that we've got going on in here and everything we've got planned for the next few months. So come on, let's have a little look, shall we? And in fact, before we get too deep into exploring the city, do just want to do a massive shout out and thank you to everyone who backed us on Patreon. This is very much a Patreon funded, community backed project that we would not have been able to do on our own. We never would have been able to afford the space. We never would have been able to afford the Lego to go into the space. So thank you to everyone who's been involved on the Patreon. If you want to get involved, the link to it is down in the description below. And every penny that comes through that Patreon is ring fenced for the Lego City project and goes towards us basically making this cooler and cooler. And of course, while we're doing our thank yous, another big thank you to our studio sponsor, Brick Prize Drawers. Again, huge difference maker. Couldn't have done it without them. And thank you very much to them as well. You can check out their link down in the description below to have the chance to win some really cool Lego sets, including some of the ones you're about to see within the city. So we'll start things off with a little bit of a city layout for anyone who is new to the channel. As you can see, we have the bulk of the Lego at the moment is over this side, where we've got this L-shaped Lego City downtown area that is 3 levels high. These are IKEA Lindemann tables, which then have planks of wood on top raised up by these little furniture spacer things. And then we've got another layer of that at the back, and it's set up so that that top level is 2 base plates deep, so we can have modulars and road. The next layer down is also 2 base plates but deep for the same reason, and then the area underneath is deliberately set up like that, A, because I've got plans for it, and B, because I'm in my 40s, I have back problems, and the original IKEA tables were a little bit too low for me to be bending over, and having it all raised up the way it is gets it at a comfortable level for me to work at. So this is the downtown area that long term is planned to go all the way around this top area here, pretty much to where that table comes in at the end that's got the Lion Knight's castle on. So eventually we will have modulars coming all the way along, and this area is the beginning of what we're calling Castle Hill, where at the moment, obviously, we've got the Lion Knight's castle on there, but there's going to be a whole load more medieval themed stuff up on that hill, and it's all going to be basically a really cool mountainside with medieval stuff all the way up. The lighthouse isn't going to be there long term. I realise that's supposed to be down at sea level. We've then got this area at the moment, which, as you can see, currently is undeveloped. This is planned to be our beach town, which I really want to model on Skegness. If you're not from the UK, Google Skegness. It is the height of UK seaside culture. That means we're going to be having a pier, fish and chip shop, arcades, a tattoo parlour, a pub, of course a train station. As you can see, we've already got the train line in, and a sea area so that we can maybe put a pirate ship on, have somewhere for the lighthouse to go, and also a lot of our beach stuff and camping stuff that we've already got. Like, we've got a beach house that's living up there at the moment. We've got lots of little camping and beach style things, and all of that long term is going to make its way down here. And then we've got this end of the room, which, as you can see, is currently very untidy and is basically being used for storage. But the plan for this, in addition to having the mountainside that's going to come down, and there'll be stuff on the mountain as it comes down once that mountain is in, there's going to be a theme park on here. We've already got the loop coaster ready to go. I've just got the haunted house amusement ride for my birthday. We've got some other roller coasters. I want to pick up some more of the theme park amusement park collection, plus use some of the smaller stuff like that creative 3-in-1 Ferris wheel that we've got over there. And I also plan to have a Ninjago area within the theme park. So I've got Ninjago City Gardens at the moment, and I plan to pick up the rest of the Ninjago modulars and have a whole Ninjago area in there too. And if we can squeeze one in, maybe a dock, but we might run out of space before we get as far as a dock. And then underneath the city, we've actually got in storage at the moment the full winter village that was set up in our house last year, which I suspect this year at least one of these tables will still be 3 when it comes to winter village time. So we'll have a temporary setup of a winter village either here or here, and then that'll be packed away again after Christmas. And who knows, by next year we might have moved to an even bigger space and be able to set something up permanent for that. Who knows? If you'd have asked me a year ago if we'd have had this space, I'd have just laughed. This was like a long-term dream. So who knows where we'll be in a year's time. But let's have a closer look at everything that we've got. And one thing to note is we are still early days, and the detailing, so things like the pavement, the roads, the walls, these things are expensive and are going to take an awful lot of Lego. This is a 225 square foot storage unit, and we have tabletop space for about 200, I think it's 205 base plates when I measured out the area of it. And that's not including anything that's going to take place underneath other levels. That's just like exposed, can see the ceiling base plate area. So for me to do 205 mils plates, plus walls to cover up all of the raised area, I'm not exaggerating when I say the cost of just doing that job is closing in on £10,000 worth of Lego. The Mills plates alone come in at over £4,000. These 3 panels of wall that we built a couple of weeks ago now, that was £135 worth of Lego. We have got a little bit left over, but it's so expensive to do those bits. So they are going to take time. So I don't want to hear anything in the comments section when we're going around and you're seeing bits that are still exposed like this. Yeah, there's going to be bits that are still exposed like that. We're waiting for parts, and we're waiting to be able to afford the parts. And in a similar note, we are still such early days that we haven't done anything like minifigure placement. Some stuff is still messy the way it was when I just plonked it in here and hasn't been set up as scenes at all. I've got a box full of vehicles under here somewhere that just haven't gone in yet, because there's no point adding all the vehicles until we've got all of this done. So things like vehicles, minifigures and detailing will come with time. At the moment, we're trying to get the buildings in, get the structure in. So with all that in mind, let's have a look at what we've got. And it is a mixture of the official modulars. We have 15 of the 20 official modulars, or a couple of them are my own versions of them because they're so expensive. I'm looking at 2 of them over there, the town hall and the cafe corner, are not official ones. They're Lego, but they're updated versions that I just bought the parts for, and there's videos for both of them on the channel to show how I did that. But in addition to the official modulars, we've also got some MOCs. We've got our Block Party HQ. We've got all of the Marvel modulars, all 4 of those. We've got some rebrickables, like that one there. We've got the Sit Complex over there as well. We've got a Lego store. And we've got a few other bits that aren't necessarily sets that you would include in a modular collection, but we're trying to integrate. We've got a Lego City train station. We've got Brickcross Station from the Bricklink Designer Program. We've got the Up House over there. You can see Krusty Burger in the Botanical Garden down that way. So we've got a nice little mixture. But I promised you a proper tour. Let's go through one by one and see if I can remember the name of all of the sets. So we've got the Jazz Club on the end here, which I think we need to move the Jazz Club at some point, because it does feel like it's kind of relegated to off in the corner, and it's too good a set to be relegated off in the corner, especially because we have the Muppets performing live on top of it, and I think they need to be a little bit more central in the city. Next to that, we've got the Natural History Museum, one part, I think, of the bookshop. I think that's the residential half of the bookshop modular, and then we've got the boutique hotel on the end here. We've then got a rebrickable of the Sesame Street set, the now retired Sesame Street set from a few years ago. There's a video on the channel showing how I'd made that into a modular. It's using a rebrickable design. I forget the name of the designer, but it does look awesome. And then we've got the other half of the bookshop and Assembly Square, and then into the police station modular, which of course has a bat signal on top. And then we've got the new Lego City train station and a little construction area in the corner. Carrying on round on this top level, we've got Avengers Tower and the Daily Bugle with the Up House in between the two. The Up House is a rebrickable. That's 2 Up House sets combined to make it so that it's completely enclosed on all sides and actually not connected to that base plate. So we could float it from the ceiling, stand it on transparent plates if we decided to have it float away at some point. Of course, we've got a Batman tumbler and a Quinjet knocking around in front of the little superhero area as well. And the Sanctum Sanctorum is there on the corner of our little superhero zone. That corner potentially being left blank for maybe an Arkham Asylum, if we get an Arkham Asylum inverse corner modular coming soon, maybe. You can see that along here we've also got the downtown tram that came out last year, which we have motorized, and we have put a color sensor in so that it can actually automate shuttling up and down as a tram. Again, there's video on all of these little projects. There's videos of on the channel. There's a big playlist for Lego City stuff, but there is a video showing how I motorized and automated the tram. And then we've got the night bus next to the corner garage. This is an area that is going to need some change. I don't think we want those two towers next to each other. We've got the fire brigade and the town hall. So the fire brigade I bought used and it's a bit dirty. And the town hall is brand new Lego pieces from Pick-a-Brick, but an updated design to try and keep costs down. I had a lot of trouble with, and it is now finished and looking cool. And then probably my favorite rebrickable is the sit complex on the end there. So at the moment, that is Central Perk on the bottom floor, and then the apartments from friends on the next 2 floors up. But we do have plans to expand that with some other sitcoms and make that a higher tower. So it's kind of competing on the skyline with the 2 skyscrapers we've already got. And then the further we move down here, the less permanently placed stuff becomes, and it is just kind of a dumping ground for a lot of stuff at the moment. We've got a lot of our residential and camping bits and food trucks and my little childhood home, which I think we are probably going to do a little residential area at some point, but it will obviously be done better than this. That Lilo and Stitch is a rebrickable as well, so that's got a back on that. I love the snack shack. That's going to make it onto the beach when we eventually set up our little town. And then the Krusty Burger we've just added in today, and the botanical garden might move down to the seaside town as well. A lot of British seaside towns have a botanical garden, so we might end up moving that down onto this level when we start work on that. We've got another train here. This one loops. So this loop goes around underneath the mountain, all the way around the back underneath that raised platform, and re-emerges at the end there. And then if we come back along this main street, you can see we've got the botanical garden there. This is another rebrickable. This is a Spider-Man bodega. It's a rebrickable of the little Spider-Man set that came out earlier in the year, with apartments on the top for Miles Morales and Peter Parker. There is actually a Peter Parker apartment that's compatible with that set that's about to release, so we might be making some changes to that, or we might use that as the basis for another little New York City style building. That's next to my Lego store, which was the first rebrickable I ever did, which I think is pretty cool. It combines 3 of the little brand stores that I don't think are available anymore. I think they retired at the end of last year, but it does look really cool. And then we've got my rebrickable cafe corner, which we managed to put together for about £250 rather than £2,500. We still need to add the hotel sign onto the side of it though. My favorite modular, Tudor Corner, absolutely love that. Next to my favourite set of last year, the Brick Cross Station from the Bricklink Designer Programme. And then we've got half of the pet shop and the Parisian restaurant, which, again, similar to what I was saying with the Jazz Club, I probably want to change the positioning of the Parisian restaurant. It's a little bit hidden in the corner. It's a beautiful set, and it's got a really cool back on it as well. So we might need to move that somewhere where it gets a little bit more eyes on it. And then we've got the Palace Cinema, complete with Kermit the Frog and a giraffe driving past out the front. That's half of the pet shop, isn't it? That's the residential half of the pet shop, I think. You can tell because it's got the older style minifig faces. Yeah, that's the other part of the pet shop. And then we've got the metro station, which is a rebrickable of the Creator 3-in-1 Main Street. It took 2 of those and a few extra pieces and has a little metro station underneath, which eventually will be the station for this underground train. We plan to have an exposed area here and actually have a London Underground style train platform under there. And then we've got a rebrickable from that took 2 of the Creator 3-in-1 cozy houses to make a little half base plate modular. The Downtown Diner, which is another set I absolutely love. I think that one's really, really cool. The first set I've ever designed myself, the Block Party HQ. I'm really happy with how the Block Party sign is on there, although it looks like the stairs have collapsed inside. So this is what happens when I try and build stuff myself. It is at the moment just an empty shell. We still need to decide what to put inside it. And I'm actually thinking one of the floors might be taking the interior from the new arcade machine that's coming out on the see, we've got a little bit of a bar in there, but there's a little arcade area. There's the arcade machine coming out on the 1st of August that has the little gaming bedroom, and I think we're going to use the interior of that to do Anna's gaming floor. Within there you can see Anna is on the top with a Game Boy and a shark. There's a statue to memorialise my trip to the Lego house up there as well, and I'm down there at the bottom with my little giraffe hoodie. In fact, that's not the only sighting of me and Anna in the city. We've also got Anna there with her little walking stick, and me behind with a cup of coffee and a Pokeball. And then on the end here, we've got, for now, the X Mansion. That is very much a temporary spacing for that. I really want to do the expansion. I want to add another floor. I want to make it wider. I want to put it on some proper grounds behind some proper gates. But for now, it's just out of the way there because I was very disappointed with that one when it came out. And then the only other thing we've got is this underground train line, which runs all the way back there, all the way along, loops around underneath the back there. It's going to come out and pop out for the seaside town, and then the track actually does continue and splits off underneath there with a view to it also coming out into the theme park as well eventually. And I've also got a load of monorail track ready to put on monorail around the theme park when we eventually put that in, which is definitely part of the plan as well. I mentioned London Underground platform underneath there. We've got plans for other underground bits as well. I would like to have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles lair somewhere underneath in a little sewer area. Plus, I have just got the Diagon Alley set. So I'm thinking Diagon Alley is probably going to go over here somewhere near where we're going to have the big Castle Hill. And as part of Diagon Alley, I think I'm probably going to get Gringotts as well. And my plan at the moment is to have the Gringotts bank above ground and the underground bit that comes with the set on the layer below. So it kind of all integrates together. And that, boys and girls, is the full extent of the Lego City as it stands at the moment. Like I say, still loads of work to do, loads of stuff being planned. I can't wait to get started on the beach and the Castle Hill and the theme park area. I've talked for a number of weeks now about, I don't know which one I'm going to start first, but I think what I'm learning from doing the downtown area is so much of Lego City development is waiting for stuff to arrive, whether it's pick-a-brick orders or new sets or Bricklink stuff coming over from Thailand that takes 6 weeks to arrive. There's so much, oh, I need these pieces, now I've got to wait forever. So I think I'm probably just going to get started on everything. I'm going to get a few theme park rides in. I'm maybe going to get the beach in. I'll get a couple, I've got some castle sets at home. I'll maybe add those into the castle area. I'll maybe start building the mountain. And we'll just kind of move from project to project around the city, because we've had 3 months now of me bringing in modulars, sorting out roads and talking about, oh, I wish I could finish the path. I wish I could finish the train track, wish I could finish the walls. I'd quite like to be able to say, right, well, we are waiting for parts for the walls. They're going to be a few weeks. So in the meantime, we're going to do something cool over here with Ninjago, or we're going to stick the medieval town square up there with the Lion Knight's castle. Or I want to be able to just kind of move around from projects, keep the content interesting, keep me always with something to do, so I'm not ever coming to the city and being like, I don't really know what to do today. I've got nothing to do. So I think that's my plan. Feel free to let me know down in the comments what you would like to see in the city, what is missing. Obviously, I plan to get the other 5 modulars, but they're expensive, so they're going to wait a while. We've already got Diagon Alley coming in. We've already got some theme park rides coming in. As far as the beach goes, I don't have a lot of the stuff yet. I have a vision in my mind of a pier and a British-style seaside, but all I really have as far as sets are the modern house, the Lilo and Stitch house, and a few little beach sets and food trucks, and maybe something like the A-frame cabin if we have part beach, part camping area maybe. There's so much going on in my brain all the time. I am always open to ideas and suggestions from you, but bottom line, I am having the time of my life with this. It is so much fun. I am so grateful that I am able to do this as a job, and you lot have made this something that I am actually able to spend my time and money doing. Like I said at the start, huge thank you to everyone who's backed us on Patreon, to our sponsors, but not just the people who've supported us directly financially, anyone who's ever watched any of our content, shared any of our TikToks, liked any of our YouTube videos, told a friend about the channel or about what we're doing, said hello at a convention. It all helps towards growing the project that is Block Party. And ultimately, the Lego City is the core of Block Party. Yes, we do a lot of content that's focused on other stuff. We do a lot of Lego shopping stuff, deal hunting, conventions, Lego news and stuff like that. But at its very core, this is the channel. And this is the long-term project, and this is the thing we're going to see grow over the next 5 years. This is not something that I'm just planning on doing for a little bit and dropping. Obviously, we'll outgrow this space eventually, and when we do, we'll just move into a bigger space, whether it's within this building, because being in a storage centre, there are units in here 5 times bigger than this one that I've already talked to them about as a potential progression, and they know we could potentially do that. However, we get something of our own, who knows? Obviously, that's a long way off. We've got this room to fill first, but I am giddy every time I come here. I just spend a few minutes just sitting on my little chair down there, just looking at it, thinking this is so cool. I get to just play with this. I can just come in and run the trains, or mess around with the minifigures, or move a few bits around and set up little scenes, and it is so much fun. Thank you very much for making this possible. If you have enjoyed this video, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for us. Subscribe to the channel for loads more Lego City and other Lego content. Thank you very much to all of these wonderful people who are my Patreon backers, and we couldn't have done this without you. And thank you very much for watching.